Hello, my beautiful souls. I am here today to share a recent download I've received regarding US politics, the collective shadow, and the two different kinds of awakenings one can have. So, I received this download shortly after the election results came through. There was a lot of energy I felt on that day, so much collective, frantic, heavy energy. I was not putting any of my conscious awareness on the election because I did not feel called to vote personally. And my intention behind that is the most powerful thing. Whether or not you voted for one side or the other or didn't vote at all, your intention behind your vote is the most powerful thing that you have. And so my intention behind not putting any conscious awareness towards voting in the system, my intention was that I am the ruler of my own reality. I am the conscious creator of my own reality. And so I am choosing to not put my awareness on anything that I do not want to put my awareness on. And so my intention in not voting is that I do not intend to have decisions made for me. I intend to keep my free will, keep my spiritual sovereignty fully intact. And my intention is for the highest good of all, and that includes myself. And so I didn't feel called to vote. Whether you voted one side or the other, in my experience and understanding, the most important thing is your intention behind it. If you voted for one side with the intention of love and peace and freedom, if you voted for the other side with the intention of love and freedom and peace and joy and a better world for all, that is what's important. It is not who won. It is not these figures who are running things. It is your intention. And so whatever happens outside of yourself in the political world sphere, it doesn't matter. Are you going to focus your awareness on it, project your own triggers onto it? Are you going to put all of your power into this person or government or system that is outside of yourself, or are you not? And the download I received is that this is a very powerful time in the collective to begin to reclaim our own spiritual sovereignty, begin to not focus all of our energy on people and systems outside of ourselves to solve things for us, not put our energy on blaming things and people outside of ourselves for everything. This is a powerful time in the collective to, no matter what you feel about the election results, no matter what you feel has gone down in the last few days, this is a powerful time to decide in this moment that you will not be governed. You will not be putting your power outside of yourself any longer. This is a powerful time to decide that it is happening for the highest good, no matter what it looks like. This is a powerful time for the collective to decide it is all happening for the highest good. My intention behind voting this way, my intention behind voting that way, my intention behind not voting, my intention for this highest timeline for the collective of peace, unity, consciousness, joy, awakening, enlightenment. My intention is more powerful than anything that I am seeing in the illusion material world. This is a powerful time where no matter what you did with voting, not voting, putting your energy towards it, this is a powerful time to decide it's happening for the highest. And that is the download that I have been receiving, and now I feel called to share. Now, I don't normally share on politics at all. I personally like to not put any of my conscious awareness towards any sort of news, any sort of politics, anything outside of my personal control, my personal perceptions, and my personal ability as a human to make decisions in my life and heal and all of these things. I personally do not like to put any of my awareness to systems that I know are not truly helpful. They are not truly built for the people currently, but we are getting back to it. And so in my reality, what I put my conscious awareness on is creating light, creating healing in my own self and in those people around me that I can touch. Not literally. But that is my intention. That is where I put my energy and where I choose to put my energy. And we all have a different role here. And so if you are continuing to focus all of your energy on a system or a person outside of you and blame and put all of your anger and all of your guilt and project all of your shadow onto something outside yourself, now is the time to come back within and check, where am I getting so triggered? Where am I getting so worked up? Why? Start looking internally and start focusing your conscious awareness on something else. Set the intention that this is happening for the highest good of all in the collective, and then focus your attention on something that feels good to you. And that is the best thing that you can do. And so I don't normally share about politics. One, because I don't like putting my conscious awareness, and two, because there are two kinds of awakenings, two major kinds of awakenings you can have. You can have an awakening to the world, and you can have an awakening to the spiritual nature of reality. Let me put that in a different way. You can have an awakening to the broken, outdated systems running in the world, and you can have an awakening to the spiritual nature of reality. And you can have both, or you can have one or the other. And in my personal experience with what I've seen, if you have both, you are able to work through a lot more. A lot of people get stuck in one or the other. And so I'm sharing this because I think it is important to share that you need to wake up to both to truly fully wake up. You can't fully ignore the things that are going on in the world, not to focus your attention on them and freak out and put your power in them, but it is good to become aware of these broken systems that need change, and they need to crumble and be illuminated and all of these things so that they can be rebuilt. It is important to be open to learning that there is potentially another way of seeing things other than what you've been taught, what you've heard on the news, what you've heard in movies and shows and whatever. And in order to be open to this, you need to be aware of your triggers and no longer be blaming something external to you for your triggers. Being open to seeing things differently, being open to seeing the truth about the world and the world systems and all of that, and not to focus on it, not to put all of your energy into it, but to become aware and become open to how things are not currently working so that you can have a higher purpose behind your own growth and your own contribution to this new earth. So that is one way that some people don't want to look at things in the world. That is one way that some people are not yet awake, even if they may be awake spiritually. And that's another way that people get trapped. And so if you are currently putting all of your conscious awareness on politics and the world and what's going on and blaming it and fearing it and stressing out about it and freaking out about it, that is a trap. So just be aware of it. Be aware of it and choose to put your conscious awareness on maybe where you're getting triggered, maybe where you're blaming others, maybe where you're blaming outside reality, maybe where you're not truly sitting and feeling into what you're feeling. Truly not sitting with yourself with all of these things that are coming up. Look into where you may be projecting your own shadow onto the world. So that is a trap, but also an important thing to become aware of, because as we become aware of these broken systems, we can then bring this higher drive and purpose into our own spiritual growth, our own personal path, our own personal contribution to the world. So if you are freaked out about all of the politics stuff, the election, everything like that, my advice would be to take your awareness off of it for a little bit and put your awareness on yourself. So this is the other awakening that you can have. This reality is spiritual at the core. This reality is energetic. And what is energy? It is spirit. It is magic. You can use a lot of different words. It is source. It is God. That is the basis of all reality. It is consciousness. And so the spiritual nature of reality is another awakening you can have. You can be asleep to what's going on in the world and the corrupt systems of the world and be awake spiritually. And you can be asleep spiritually and awake to the systems of the world. And both are traps. You need to be awake to both because they are both important to find our own healing and no longer be projecting our sovereignty, our being saved, our healing onto others outside of ourselves. Ultimately, everything's paradoxical. So always trust your intuition in all of these kinds of matters. You will know if you need to take more awareness off of the world. You will know if you need to put a little bit more awareness on. You will know what your next step is. Your heart knows, your soul knows. So take a moment and listen. But you can be asleep to the world and awake spiritually. And it's important that we wake up to both, because if you are asleep to the world and awake spiritually, you've only had one of these two awakenings. I mean, that may be some people's path. And I'm not here to say whose path is, right or wrong. That may be some people's path. Everyone's on their own path. Everyone wakes up to different things at different times. But it can be a trap to wake up spiritually, not wake up to the world. Wake up spiritually, not wake up to the world. That can be false light, where you are sharing light and spiritual information, and you do have this beautiful intention, but you are refusing to look at the shadow. So that is how that can be a trap. So I'm here to just share this. There's two awakenings you can have. It is important that we are bringing these all into our conscious awareness. We are not letting any one thing take over and rule our realities besides us. This is a time for us all to decide, I am ready to be responsible for me. I am ready to decide that it is happening for the highest good of all. I am ready to put more awareness on the shadows of the world and help illuminate them. I am ready to put more awareness on my shadows and help illuminate them. I am ready to show up. And this is a powerful time for us all to decide as a collective that everything is happening for the highest good. Everything is happening to trigger more awakening. It's happened. The light has won. there's truly nothing to do except continue to follow your own path. And I felt really called to share about this because I have woken up to both the backward systems that are in place right now, the toxins, the poisons, the corruption, the the kind of theater that is world government, world politics, all of that. I've woken up to that, and I've woken up to the spiritual nature of reality. And both are so important, and both come hand in hand together for all of our collective and individual our collective and individual journeys. It all must be brought to light. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say here is whatever you've been feeling, any fear, any anger, any frustration, any sadness, any pain, grief, anything you've been feeling about this, any joy, any excitement, any sigh of relief, anything you've been feeling about it is okay. And ultimately, it is here for us all to decide, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm going to do with this feeling. Are you going to continue now to say, this person who's in charge of this country has power over me? This person who's in charge of the world stage is in control? Or are you going to decide, are we going to decide as a collective that we are in control? Are we going to decide as spiritual individuals with free will that we will not be governed by corrupt systems? Are we going to decide that it's happening for the highest good? And that is up to us all. And that is why it's so important that we all wake up to both sides. And so if it is triggering you, if it's upsetting you, if anything I've said has triggered you, I would highly encourage you to just sit with yourself and meditate on it and ask yourself why. Because I have not said any of this in order to upset anyone. My intention behind this is healing in the collective. So if it has triggered you, I would highly, highly encourage you to sit with yourself and sit with that feeling and look at where it's coming from and just be with yourself. And if you are unsure what I'm talking about with the 2 awakenings, I would just say a prayer and say, hey, Source, Spirit, God, Universe, I'm interested to know what those 2 awakenings are. Could you show me? And there you go. You're on the path. I hope you have a beautiful day. All is well. The light has come. This is all happening for our highest, and enjoy the ride. It is all okay. It's all safe. You're all good. I love you guys so much. Bye.